we could be in the Flinders Ranges after a good rain, or maybe in a cranny of the Adelaide Hills. The fact is, our famous Heysen Trail runs right through both of them. Named, of course, after our famous artist, Sir Hans Heysen, some people call it Australia's longest footpath, and with good reason. Meandering or scrambling, depends on your fitness, 1,200 kilometres from Cape Jervis at the tip of the Fleurieu Peninsula, the Heysen Trail passes through some of our most diverse and breathtaking landscapes. For instance, the Mount Lofty Ranges, forests, vineyards and farmland, all the way to Parachilna Gorge in the magnificent Flinders Ranges. The entire trail is maintained by the enthusiastic and dedicated Friends of the Heysen Trail. As you'd expect, with a footpath that's well over 1,000 kilometres long, their work is never done.
Because of the season we've just had with a lot of rain, it's a lot of growth, so we've been quite busy in the last couple of months, a lot of cutting back, also replacing posts, just making sure that the trail is sufficiently marked that people don't get lost.
The trail, pegged out with familiar red markers, is divided into 18 sections, each with its own maintenance team. And that means these walkers and friends of the trail have the best of both worlds. They get to combine their patch-up and repair work with scenery to die for.
Look at those cliffs again.
We caught up with this group at Section 1 of the trail, at spectacular Waipinga Cliffs near Victor Harbour. The views of the Southern Ocean, West Island, King Head, Petrel Cove and the bluff beyond make a day at the office pretty easy to take.
It's one of those things I really enjoy, chance to get out, and I'm in this part of the world down here on the coast. The section we've got is one of the best sections of the whole lot, and it's really beautiful. We never get sick of coming down and walking along the cliffs and through the scrub, and yeah.
On a good day, walkers might get to see a few of the locals too, like the red-browed finches who dart in and out of the native scrub, or perhaps the endangered sea eagles, the only known breeding pair along this stretch of coast. Then there are the visiting whales. Some of the wildlife is regularly caught on film by local photographer, conservationist, and friend of the Heysen Trail, of course, Elizabeth Steele Collins. Thanks to the increasing interest in bushwalking, the Heysen Trail is as popular as ever, as is the 850-strong Friends group, which this year is celebrating 25 years of tireless service.
We were brought into the dream because as the trail was being developed, and it was through the mid-80s, in 1986 there was a meeting called of all walking and people interested in the outdoors and walking to look at forming a group to help with the maintenance and the construction of the Heysen Trail.
We have two visionary men to thank for the trail. The dream began with conservationist and keen bushwalker Warren Benithan. We caught up with him a few years ago and he told us how he mooted the idea at a National Trust seminar.
I started off by saying there ought to be a long-distance trail through the Mount Lofty Ranges, like the Pennine Way and the Appalachian Trail they're developing overseas. I was sort of having the back of my mind that I just walked the Flinders Ranges and they might be in it too.
Enter the late Terry Lavender, the bloke who took up the cause and worked tirelessly for more than 15 years, planning the route, negotiating access with landowners and fighting bureaucracy to make the dream a reality.
We owe a heck of a lot to Terry Lavender. He was the architect of the trail. It was his driving force and passion and enthusiasm that actually constructed the Heysen Trail.
From Cape Jervis, it weaves its way along the south coast, then along the Mount Lofty Ranges and into the mid-north. Huts along the way, like the old Mount Bryan School, provide somewhere to lay your head. And then into the Flinders Ranges, through Wilpena Pound and on to Parachilna beyond. Friends President Robert Alcock sums up what the Heysen Trail is really about.
For me, it's a perfect escape from the city life. The atmosphere the environment. They talk about the energy in the bush. It's just so different from the city, and it reinvigorates me and gets me set up to get back into city life.
It would take you 2 or 3 months walking every day to get all the way along the Heysen Trail, but in just a couple of hours you can get a flavour of it. Look at this lovely bit that just cuts through the Mount Lofty Golf Course, just above the city. The friends of the Heysen Trail, they've been looking after it now for a quarter of a century, and we trust they'll be doing it in another 100 years' time as well. Keep a lookout for various events throughout the year, or contact them directly at their city headquarters, or you can log on to heysentrail.asn.au.